together for Animal! Alright.
Let's give it up for our host. Wow. Okay, so I'm first generation Ugandan. My parents moved from St. Louis. No. Let's give it up for our host.
Yeah.
I'm first generation Ugandan. I'm from Uganda, and we moved to St. Louis. I'm gonna get this shit out today. Let me do it again. Let's give it up for our host.
Woo.
I'm first generation Ugandan. We moved from Uganda to St. Louis, Missouri. I have the worst type of immigrant parents. They're village African. 80s village African, so that means no running water, no electricity, grass huts. You guys need to let people know about the 4th of July. Let me tell you, we moved during the war, and in St. Louis, they like to shoot off fireworks, guns, and so when we moved here, we thought a war was going on. My dad, he went and knocked on the neighbor's door. He's like, hey, what is going on? What is this? Is there a war? What is happening? And the neighbor's like, oh, it's the 4th of July. It's Independence Day. My dad was like, oh, Jesus, the rebels are coming. So he runs into the apartment. He's like, okay, pack your things. It is a war. Get in the bathtub now. And so we hop in the bathtub. He covers the windows and blinds. He scoots the sofa in front of the door. And then he goes to the back and pushes the refrigerator in front of the back door. We're Ugandan, so they don't have guns. So he decides to make his own makeshift weapons. He takes a knife, bandages it, tapes it all the way around a broom. He takes a bat, shoves some nails in there, and he's just guarding us to make sure no one comes in to kill us. And so we stay in the bathtub. He covers us up with a mattress, and we stay there until like 3, 4 in the morning when it dies down. And then we go outside to the bushes. So we're hiding in the bushes with all of our things. And people are walking by. What are these Africans doing in the bushes? We're trying to wait out the war. That's what we are doing. We are waiting out the war. And so the police finally show up because we're African and we shouldn't be in bushes. And they question us. But my father has a heavy accent, so it's hard to understand all of the words he is saying. Sir, what are you doing in those bushes? What are you not doing in the bushes? Hey, it is a war. You're going to let the rebels know where we are. Please, come this way. So he snatches the police and drags them into the bushes. And this is St. Louis. You're not supposed to touch the police officers. But because we're so special, they've already been to our place several times, so they expect nonsense. He did get arrested, but, they let him go. Come to find out, I was supposed to be enrolled in school. So I was enrolled in school, and first day was really, really interesting. Coming from Africa, being in America, and St. Louis. It's the hood, black people, everyone's pretty much black. I didn't know I was a nigga until St. Louis. Black people told me. They're like, girl, you dress country. You look country. I'm like, yes, I'm dressed in this country. And they made fun of me. They're like, oh goodness, girl, you are nigga. I was high sedity is what they kept saying. I didn't understand. I'm like, what is high sedity? What is high sedity? And so they're like, you're just uppity, just be regular. I'm like, what is regular? And my thing is with the nigga. I had an accent back then. I'm like, I'm not from Niger, I'm Ugandan. I'm not from Niger. My mother had to explain the word, and I was like, I don't get it, mother. I don't get it. They keep on laughing at me. So recess, my first time at recess, we're running outside, and I have sandals. My friend steps on my sandal, and I go hurling forward, and I bust my chin open. Blood is gushing everywhere. That lands me in the nurse's office. And so my father was called to come bring some clothes, some, tennis shoes. And when he gets there, he's upset. He's like, Rosaline, what are you doing? I'm also Rosalind. Rosaline, what are you doing outside instead of in school learning? And he was going off. And so the nurse was like, oh, in America, kids get to play outside at recess. He's like, what are you talking about? I sent my daughter here to learn, and you have her outside in the grass playing? What? And so after he calmed down, she was like, sir, you just need to go to the mall and buy your daughter some tennis shoes so she can come back tomorrow. We went to Westfield Shopping Mall, and we brought the whole family. It was a whole ordeal. We arrived on the parking lot. My father was like, hey, look at this place. Oh my God, dear Jesus. We have arrived. Look at it, a sea of cars, shining and new. And the building, it was 2 stories, glass everywhere, shiny. Westfield Shopping Mall in St. Charles, Missouri. We arrived. So we walked up to the front of the building, and people were going in and disappearing. And my father was like, hey, what is this, witchcraft? How are they going in this building and coming out at the same time? It was a revolving door. So my daddy sat there watching the door spinning and spinning, and we're acting like we are playing double dutch. And so we're trying to get in. So he grabs us, he's like, okay, let's do it. 1, 2, 3. We jump in, and we all fit in this small section of this revolving door. Now, at this point, a crowd is gathering because we're acting a hot mess. I have my sandals on. We push too hard because we don't know what we're doing. So our faces are pressed to it. I'm short, so I'm in the back. My sandals get clipped again, and I'm rolling. I fell at the bottom. I'm like, Daddy, I have fallen. And so my dad, he grabs me, and we finally make it out of there. They were watching us like a zoo. Okay, so we're now out of the thing, and my father sees a glimpse of us in the photo booth. Now, let me paint a picture for you. It's the 80s. My father, he invented the Hoochie Daddy shorts, okay? If you don't know what they are the shortest shorts possible, and he's wearing socks all the way up here. All of his junk is hanging out, and that's just how Ugandans do it, I don't know. So people are watching us, and he's like, oh, look at us. He catches a glimpse of our reflection. He's like, we are going to be famous. Now, everyone gather and dance. So he does typical, stereotypical African dance. People are watching us still. I'm playing along because, I'm the daughter and I do everything my father says. So he goes to the security guard finally and is like, hey, can we please get a recording of our performance? We are going to be famous. We're going to Famous Footwear to buy daughter some shoes. I'm certain we're going to meet Michael Jackson. Everywhere we went in America, he felt like Michael Jackson was going to be there. You can't tell my father anything. He's like, Michael Jackson, we're going to meet him today. And so the security guard's like, we don't have a recording. I just watch people. He's like, what kind of job is this? You sit here all day in America and watch people. What is your business? The guy was like, where are you going and what do you want? He's like, I told you, we're going to Famous Footwear. So he guides us to the second floor where Famous Footwear is. Now we walk all the way to where we're supposed to go. And my father is trying to figure out how to get up the escalator because he's looking at it. He's like, dear God, it is a sea of people gliding down smoothly. How is this happening? How is this possible? So we're watching them. He grabs my brother's hand and starts running up the escalator, and they're running and running. He's like, hey, look at these. Americans must work very hard to get to the top. People are plowing down. He's like, hey, please, excuse me, give way for my family. We are trying to make it through. What are you doing, sir? Why are you here? And so my father's like, these Americans, So he goes down to the bottom, runs all the way back up. He's like, Rosalind, come on, work hard. I'm like, Daddy, I am trying. I can't do it. I make it about halfway, and I trip and I fall all the way down the escalator, and I'm sitting there rolling like gas station meat. African rotisserie. And you know Africans, we like oils. So I was greased up all the way. My mother tried to pick me up and I kept slipping and falling. The security guard finally was like, someone's gonna get hurt, let me step in. And when he went to my father, was like, sir, what are you doing? Why are you going up the wrong way? He's like, this is the wrong way. So we went around and went up the right way. My father was like, look at this, we are gliding smoothly to heaven. I told you Jesus was going to bless us in this country. I thought Americans had to work hard, but they do not. Hey, so then we make it all the way into Famous Footwear, and guess what's in there? Another security camera. We start dancing. He's like, see, I told you we'd be famous today. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of